quickly take a look at types of system in thermodynamics. We take, for instance, the universe. Let this be the universe. And this is the system. That is our reaction vessel. That is what we refer to as system. A container where the reactants are mixed for a reaction to take place. That's what we call the system. Now, if you are using a system like this, we call it an open system. Remember, there are three types of systems at this level. First is the open system. The second is the closed system. And the third is an isolated system. Isolated system. So these are the three types of system we have in thermodynamics. We are looking at an open system. That is a case like this. Just imagine an open system to be like your pot, the pot used in your kitchen. You want to make a soup. After putting all the ingredients, you left the pot uncovered, you left it open. That is an example of an open system. As you can see, in an open system, this is our reactants. Let's call our reactants. Our reactants A and B. They are the reactants inside the system. Remember, anything outside the system, I'll clean up this. Anything located outside of this place, this is where the reaction is taking place. Anything outside here is said to be at the surrounding. Now, these are your reactants. Just for instance, your pot of soup. These are the ingredients inside the pot. Since this thing is left open, since your container is open, as you can see, anything can fly inside this soup you are making. Anything can move in, anything can go out, as long as it is left open. That's an open system. So, because matter can be exchanged between the system and the surrounding, why is it possible? Because the system is open. Anything can go in, anything can come out. Heat can enter, heat can go out. Now, in an open system, we say that an open system is a system that allows exchange of heat and matter between the system and the surrounding. Any system that can allow exchange of matter, that is mass, or heat between the system and the surrounding, such as system is known as an open system. So in an open system, we say change in mass is not equal to zero. Why do we say so? Let's take, for instance, the quantity of meat you started with while making your stew or soup. The quantity of meat you added was 10 grams of meat, for instance, and you left it open. You left the kitchen. As the soup started boiling or whatever the process is going on, let's take, for instance, a fly or flies, even lizard, for instance, may mistakenly fall inside the soup. And by the time you have lizard inside the soup, you can see that the mass, the quantity you have as your soup has increased. It's no longer 10 grams of meat at the end of the cooking. You now have something more than 10 grams of meat. We say matter has increased. So you can see, assuming your initial, which is M1, your initial mass when you started the soup, that's the quantity of meat you started with, was 10 grams. And because you left it open, something fell inside. It can be lizard. And at the end, when you brought out the pot, your total mass, and the mass of the lizard is 5 grams, for instance. So your total mass will become 10 plus the 5 that entered. You now have an extra meat. And that gives us 15 grams. So you see, your initial mass is 10 grams. Your final became 15. Why? Because something was added. Now your change in mass, which we call dm, your change in mass becomes the final mass, which is M2, minus the initial mass, M1. And that gives us 15 minus 10, which is equal to 5 grams. So, because the change in mass is not equal to 0, we'll say that change in mass is not 0. Remember, this symbol means equal to, while this one means not equal to. So, for an open system, change in mass, this is called change in mass, DM. Change in mass is not 0. Why is it not 0? Because your final mass minus your initial mass will not give you 0. It will give you a number. So for an open system, change in mass is not 0. Also, change delta E, or the E, anyone. Change in heat energy is not 0. Change in mass is not 0. That is for an open system. Now, let's take a look at a closed system. Let's see what happens to mass and heat. But remember, for an open system, we said change in heat energy or heat energy is not 0. Why? Because heat can be exchanged between the system and the surrounding in an open system. Of course, it's very obvious. So your initial and your final can be 0 because they are not equal. The system is open, anything can come in, anything can go out. So the second type of system we'll look at is the closed system. The closed system. This is when you're making your soup, after putting all your ingredients, you cover the pots. So let's cover our pots this time. The pot is covered. So we call this a closed system. Now, as you can see, in a closed system, exchange of mass between the system and the surrounding is not possible. Why? Because the container is covered. Nothing can enter into this system and nothing can go out in terms of mass. The only thing that can come in and go out is heat. While you are heating the content of your pot, as you heat, you know, heat can penetrate through the pot into the system. So in a closed system, heat energy can be exchanged. Heat can go in, heat can come out. But matter or mass cannot be exchanged. So the quality or the characteristics of a closed system is that in a closed system, change in mass is equal to 0. Why do I say so? Assuming your initial quantity you started with, in terms of the meat, the amount of meat you started with was 10 grams. After cooking, your meat is still 10 at the end. You are not including the water absorbed by the meat now. Now, your initial and your final is the same because no new thing entered as a result of the covering. So our change in mass becomes the final, which is 10, minus the initial, which is 10. And 10 minus 10 gives us 0. So for a closed system, change in mass is equal to 0. Why? Because the initial is equal to the final. Now, but heat can be exchanged. Heat can go in, heat can come out. Heat does not need your system to be open before it can come in. Just like when you boil water, a pot of water, after boiling, you bring it down from the gas cylinder or gas cooker. You notice that after an hour or more, that your pot, though it is covered, the content can still get cold. Why? Because the heat can radiate out or be conducted from the body of the pot into the surrounding. So heat energy does not need an open system for it to be exchanged. Be it open or closed, heat can still escape. Now the last type of, so in that case, it means that for a closed system, change in mass is 0, but change in heat energy is not equal to 0. So heat can go in, heat can come out. Note this. Anyone in which that particular thing, like heat or mass, can go in and come out, we say that that one is not equal to 0. But anyone in which it cannot go in or it cannot come out, we say it is equal to 0. So for a closed system, change in mass is 0 because Mass cannot go in, it cannot come out. Whatever you started with is what you end with. So your initial minus your final, or your final minus your initial, gives you 0. But change in heat is not equal to 0, because heat can go in, it can come out. The last one we look at here is an isolated system. An isolated system is a system that does not allow exchange of heat or matter into the system. Remember, in an open system, exchange of heat and mass are both allowed. In a closed system, exchange of mass is not allowed, but exchange of heat is allowed. But in an isolated system, exchange of matter is not allowed, exchange of heat is not allowed. Now, we can also define an isolated system as a type of closed system that does not allow passage of either heat or mass. So for an isolated system, change in mass is equal to 0, and change in heat is also equal to 0. How can you have such a system? Something like a thermoflask. A perfect thermoflask is an example of an isolated system where you can pour in a hot food or hot water and leave it for hours. Even after hours, you still find that substance you left inside it hot. That is an example of an isolated system. Heat can neither go out nor pass. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we'll be looking at the mathematical expression of the first law. Do not forget to like our page